Welcome back, Guardians. Today's video is going to be a bit different than the standard lore videos, but I feel that since we have quite a bit of information coming out in regards to Destiny 2 and what the story and lore could be, I wanted to do sort of an info drop and a bit of a lore through on the recent trailer. To start, the biggest info drops are obviously the release dates of the beta and the actual game launch, which are literally right around the corner. I am so freaking excited. So to clarify, PS4 gets their beta on July 18th, Xbox gets it on July 19th, both of those betas end the 23rd of July. Now, PC beta is planned for late August, no official release date as of this recording. The official release date for consoles is set to September 6th for both. And then PC is a launch around October 24th. So it looks like I'm going to have to pick up either a PS4 or an Xbox One for the 2 months leading into Destiny 2 before I make that switch to PC. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I'm probably going to do a vote either on Twitter. Obviously, give me your opinion on the comment section and in Discord. But I want you to tell me where you think I should play, where a majority of my community is. It's not a favoritism thing anymore. I used to be a huge Xbox fanboy, but to be honest, I don't want to drop $500 on an Xbox One X when I know I'm not going to play it 2 months from now, that kind of thing. So let me know. I really want to know what you guys think. This isn't a console fanboy thing. I just want to know where a majority of my constituents, my peers, my individuals of the lore seeker community are. So let me know. You guys are awesome. All right, so the info of the standard stuff aside, let's hop right into the goods, the real news, if you will, and the new trailer that dropped during E3. So in this trailer, we get our first look at Ghaul, and my god, does he look freaking dope. He sounds dope, he acts dope, and he wears all white. Now, I want to make this point exactly on this. Typically, white has always represented purity, whether in heart or in conviction to something. He believes and literally embodies that he is the most deserving character of the Traveler's Light, and that we as Guardians are nothing more than cowards who have been wrongfully chosen. Now, I'm sure this jealousy will get explored more as we continue to get info drops and play the game, but I did find it interesting to see that he isn't our typical enemy. Take, for example, he isn't a Skolas or an Oryx. He has a unique motivation that, while shares similarities with the other bad guys, his primary objective isn't exactly our elimination, but rather our removal. You might ask what's the difference between those two, but I see Ghaul as describing Guardians more as obstacles than actual enemies that must be eradicated. This is the first time in the Destiny story we are also seeing an enemy originally described as being part of the quote-unquote darkness as now being able to really accept the light or covet it. It will be interesting to see the development of Ghaul and his Red Legion, but there's another character that I want to talk about that seemingly didn't get much face time in the E3 trailer. And that's the so-called consul character, the mentor of Ghaul. Ghaul's backstory will be suitably fleshed out, and he's bringing his mentor, the consul, along for the ride. This comes from Arif in the VG247 article. And now another piece to be considered in this is that in Roman history, the consul position was the precursor to the emperor title. It came from a time before Rome had an emperor and was considered a republic before an actual empire. It was one of the highest positions a Roman politician could achieve, and typically two consuls would always serve together. Now, this might be, regarding or reading into lines, a bit too much, but it would be interesting to see the story of Destiny 2 if Ghaul had two mentors or advisor first before just having the one. It's also interesting to see the hierarchy of our new enemy. Does Ghaul report to this consul, or is the consul only there to give advice and observe? Who holds the real power in their relationship, or more importantly, over the Red Legion? A secondary piece of information dropped is that the Cabal Empire is either in tatters or is no more, as the consul advised Ghaul to stage a military coup at the time against the Emperor Callus, and the interesting turn of events for the Cabal, but the motivations behind such an action are what I want to explore personally as we continue Destiny 2. I'm also curious to know what you think. Is the consul the real threat here, hidden behind Ghaul, or is there an unseen dynamic yet to be explored between the two? Let me know what you think. As we continue, there's another thing I'd like to address that both has me slightly interested and worried. Well, maybe not worried, but I think the real word is concerned. And that's the info drop on the direction of the general story for Destiny 2. Quote, We've never really said what the darkness means, unquote, and it's quickly followed by, ultimately, we do owe our players a story there. What is the darkness? But that's not this game. Now, the final part of the quote is probably the most concerning. Quote, we wanted to remove as much of the extra terminology as possible and focus on telling the Destiny 2 story. In doing so, allow Destiny 2 to usher in the rest of the saga. It's going to start some threads that we intend to carry through. Unquote. What does Luke Smith mean when he says they want to remove as much extra terminology as possible to help explain the story? The darkness is no longer the real enemy or the current enemy, or are they fine-tuning the story to have a less vague, more direct approach? Either way, I don't mind the whole name drop. The darkness is always a blanket term. We don't consider Guardians and their allies to just be the light, but rather aligned with it. The darkness should be viewed as the same, in my opinion. The greatest concern I have with this is how they're going about some of it. It seems almost as if they're putting the events of Destiny 1's story to the side and just creating a brand new story, a restart in the same universe. Now, a lot of what I feel to be true and what exactly is true is difficult to pull from just one interview, one in which I had no time in and didn't witness. So once again, when it comes to Destiny 2 lore and how they plan on implementing it, I'm going to wait and see before I play the game, before I cast doubt or judgment on the quote-unquote removal of the story thread aspects we had in Destiny 1. Again, the whole thing is a lot to make a judgment case off here, but here's what I do know. I'm excited for Destiny 2, however they choose to approach the story and the lore. My channel is not about being one of the few lore channels that gives you information on a game world that you should be able to explore without YouTubers like myself. Ideally, you come to channels like mine when you want more information or a secondary interpretation on the lore at hand. I was a big fan of Destiny 1's story, especially Taken King and their approach to the Books of Sorrow, hence the current lore series going on this channel dedicated to tackling that entire thing. So what if Luke Smith and Bungie can place all of the lore of the Books of Sorrow-esque type piece into Destiny 2's story and make it digestible to the average player? This is something most likely we all can agree on and something we all want to have happen. Finally, I'd like to know what you guys think. Did the E3 reveal pique your interest? How do you feel about the PS4 beta coming early? And if you're a PC player, do you have any qualms with a later release date? I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts on this. It always helps me better understand where the entire community that at least watches my channel comes from. As always, guys, there's another lore video this weekend, Books of Sorrow Part 3, and more lore to come into and going throughout Destiny 2. I love you guys, and I just want to say thank you for the continued support. Hey everyone, Wally here. If you like the content and want to stay on top of all the new releases and make sure you're getting everything when it is launched, I recommend turning on channel notifications for your lore goodness. That little bell icon should be replaced with a little lore icon, something cooler in my opinion, but hey, you know, what can you do? Seriously though, if you'd like to continue supporting the channel, check out my Patreon and the Spreadshirt shops. If you've enjoyed the video, like and share it with your friends, and always comment, good or bad. I want to hear what you all think of the continued content. I don't think I say this enough, but I seriously cannot do this without your continued support, so I just want to say thank you. Join the Discord channel if you want to get in touch with me or the community. We want pretty much everyone. You guys rock, and once again, thank you.